everybody, my name is Coach Maddie, and today I want to talk to you about 5 tricks to help conquer your cravings. So let's dive in. So tip number 1, it's probably the most simplest one to start with, and it is just to kind of dive a little deeper into what exactly is happening with these cravings. So when you get struck with a craving, what you need to do is you need to ask yourself, am I hungry or am I just empty, right? So empty meaning there's nothing in my stomach because I've digested it already or I haven't eaten in a while. And then hungry being, oh no, I actually need calories to function. I need energy to function. I'm about to perform a task, right? I'm going to go work out. I'm going to go into a meeting at work. I need energy to function. So there's a difference between I'm hungry and I need calories and energy, and I'm empty, but I don't need the calories because I'm going to hang out for the rest of the night, or I'm about to go to bed soon, or I'm sitting at my desk all day, etc. Okay? So being hungry, what you want to do if you're getting that feeling that you're used to of when you get hungry, maybe your stomach is starting to talk to you for those cravings, then you would sit and ask yourself, okay, am I actually hungry? If I don't eat right now, am I going to drop dead? Right? And the answer is usually no. The answer is usually always no. I'm not going to drop dead if I don't eat right now. Now, I'm not saying starve yourself. Don't get that twisted. What I'm saying is you can take that thought and pause and relax. In my experience, when I'm working with women who are really struggling with cravings, that's kind of been their downfall on their weight loss journey, they get panicked or they get anxious when they get hungry because it's just such an unfamiliar feeling because we're always eating little things, right? We're always snacking throughout the day. Or when we do eat, we eat big meals, so it's sitting in us for a while. Or our digestion and gut is off, so it just kind of sits in us. So we are really not used to that feeling of hunger because when it comes, we always react instead of respond. So first step in conquering cravings is asking yourself, am I hungry? Do I need calories right now? If I don't get energy and calories, is something bad going to happen? Usually the answer is no. So then you ask yourself, okay, so maybe I'm just empty. Am I empty? Yes. Is my stomach growling? Yes. Is it okay to be empty? Yes. And then just breathe and take it, 20 minutes at a time. Emptiness is great. In fact, I love the feeling of being empty. My stomach growls so loud sometimes, it's talking to me. And I'm not hungry. I'm not dying. I'm not going to pass out. I'm not starving myself. I just love giving my body a break from digesting food all the time because it really is working overtime for you. And I found that when I go to bed hungry or I go to bed on an empty stomach, I have way better sleep because now my body can take all the energy and focus on getting me rested and recovered instead of digesting the food that's in my stomach. And I wake up so much more rested. I feel so much more lean. My stomach feels tighter when I wake up. And that is kind of just an idea to start with in terms of when you get hit with that craving, ask yourself, is it hunger? Do I need it? Or is it just emptiness? And do I want to embrace that emptiness feeling today? That's the first step, right? So we can kind of calm the anxiety and the overwhelm in that moment of craving. Now, tip number 2 is figuring out what caused your craving. Now, if I were to pick one thing that was the worst thing of all with cravings, it would be how we perceive them. Right? It's not really the cravings themselves that are the dangerous thing that throws you off your journey. It's how we view them and how we react and how we perceive around what they are. Because if I ask, when I coach these women, I ask them to describe their cravings. They use words like uncontrollable, impulsive, can't help myself, right? And that's just really damaging language, right? Regardless of if that language feels true or not, it's just really damaging to have that perspective because then where on earth could you insert control? Where on earth could you get that control back if you're saying I'm out of control? I can't help myself, right? Those are such finite words. There's no room for change there. So you need to first understand your cravings, okay? And what triggered them. So you need to know, listen to me now, there's no such thing as a random craving. They are always triggered by something. All right. If you're at a birthday party and you get this craving for birthday cake, it is not because you just your body was like, I need sugar and I need cake. That's not what was happening. What was happening is it's probably time to sing happy birthday. You see this beautiful Dairy Queen ice cream cake being delivered to the table and now you want a piece. Now you think we're craving cake when really it's just you saw it. You saw other people eating it. You probably feel left out and now you want some because you think it's going to give you something, relief, pleasure, joy, entertainment, satisfaction, whatever. So there's no such thing as a random craving. What you need to do in the moment of that craving is just sit with yourself, like we said in tip number 1. Then once you sit with yourself and you've calmed yourself down, you can say, what the heck triggered this in the first place? Did I have a stressful day and I'm looking for food as a release? Did I just get into a fight with my husband and now this is how I'm coping, right? Am I on my period and my hormones are off, so I'm going to be more likely to crave sugar, in which that case, maybe I shouldn't keep it in the house during that time, right? Find out what your trigger is. Is 8 o'clock my Bachelorette TV show time, and that's when I like to sit with a bag of chips because I'm bored, or it's just a habit that I've done. What is triggering it? Is it an emotion? Is it a thing that has happened? Is it a time of day? X, Y, and Z. Find out what's triggering it, because when you know what's triggering it, you know what caused it. And when you know what caused it, you're not sitting there scratching your head saying, what the heck? I don't know what to do. I'm scared of my cravings because they come out of nowhere. You can now better and preemptively predict when they'll come, how intense they'll be. And that way, again, there's a lot more of a clear head around your cravings. Okay, so those 2 first tips are really to get your head right in the moment of cravings. Because if you're anything like I was before I lost my 80 pounds, food controlled me. I was like obsessed about food. I went to sleep just so I could go wake up and eat breakfast the next day. I would dream about, daydream at work all day about what I was going to eat when I got home and what show I was going to watch. So food was really controlling me and I felt helpless. But until I took time and really did trick 1 and trick 2, I was able to have a level head going into my cravings. It's not that you're going to stop cravings from showing up. It is that you're going to understand them better and have more tools to swat them away, really. Just swat them away. They come, you let them flow, you swat them away. You don't feel the urge to act. So those are your 2 first tips. Now the tactical tips on the other side, things that you can actually do immediately to help. The first thing, okay, when you get a craving, before you make a decision if you're going to do it or not, if you're going to give in or not, if you're going to be strong or be weak, whatever it is. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to chug a big old glass of water. Why? Because there's 2 reasons. Number 1, a lot of the times when we think we are hungry or when our body is craving and we're misinterpreting that craving or we're not sure where it came from or what it's asking for, we are just thirsty. We are usually thirsty before we are hungry. So that'll combat that. That should lessen that intensity of that feeling just by having a glass of water. And guess what? If you lessen the intensity, then you're going to have a little bit more strength in possibly fighting it. And then number 2, if you're putting water in, you're actually filling the stomach, so you are going to recreate that feeling of being full. So then again, that will decrease the intensity of wanting food. That would deter you just a little bit. Maybe not completely, but enough to say maybe not today, or maybe I'll wait another 30 minutes, or maybe I'll just have half or 1 bite, etc. It'll allow you to make a better decision. Whatever that looks like, just slightly better, okay? So chug a glass of water. It's a good start. Then tip number 4, okay? Tip number 4 would be pop a piece of gum, okay? In my experience, when I was snacking and craving and overindulging and binging, usually it would happen because I was bored, right? I had a stressful day. I was chilling like a couch potato at night, and I wanted something to do with my hands, something to do with my mouth. And before I knew it, I would go through an entire tub of Ben & Jerry's, or I'd eat an entire bag of chips. And it was kind of like mindless eating and I wasn't paying attention. So by chewing gum, I actually gave my mouth something to do. So I still felt like I was doing something while watching TV, and I was still kind of half feeding that habit, that hand to mouth thing that I was trying to look for when I was craving. And that actually helped me last long enough in that peak of the craving, right? If we can last through the peak of the craving, then again, we are leveling out the emotions, we're leveling out our mental state, we're bringing more logic and rationale and clarity, and then we can make better decisions or realize that we didn't even want to make that decision in the first place. It was just heat of the moment. So gum is a big one for me, and just keep popping it. Sometimes I got like 4 pieces in my mouth at once because I really am just trying to ride the craving out, right? And I also think one of the best ways to view a craving is let me ride this out, not let me give in, let me be strong. It's not black and white. Let me ride this out. If you can just ride the wave of your craving, spend time with it, right, as it comes and goes, in and out, up and down, intense, low, then again, you're not reacting, you're going to be responding to it. So I was popping that gum to just ride the wave. So that's another good thing, experiment with different flavors of gums, little squares versus sticks, right? Different mouthfeels, all that stuff. And I find that very, very helpful for me. That was kind of a game changer at nighttime for me when I would normally want to go occupy my hands or binge eat some M&Ms. Now I pop gum first. And because number one, I mean, the taste isn't really appealing to put anything on top of that, right? You ever drink a glass of orange juice after you brush your teeth? Gross. Same idea with gum. So it's kind of also on that level, deters you from putting another flavor in your mouth. So that's tip number 4. That one really helped me out. And then tip number 5 is just inserting time. I've actually used timers before. I grab my phone or I look at my stove and I say, okay, I have something to do right now. I'm acknowledging this craving. I'm acknowledging that if it's still there in 20 minutes, I'm going to eat blank or I'm going to only eat blank. You negotiate with yourself, but you negotiate with yourself after you've given yourself time, right? Because normally we negotiate in the moment, right? When it hits, we're like, oh, I'm going for it. Oh, but I should only have 1 bite. Oh, but I really want 3 bites. Oh, okay, so I'll have 2 bites, right? And then that's, at least we're negotiating, but it never ends out as good as it could. So you want to insert time. So you feel your craving. If it normally kicks in like usual, because we tend to be creatures of habit and it's always stimulated by the same thing. When it kicks in, you put your timer on. 5 minutes even. 10 minutes, 15, 20, an hour, whatever, there's like one important thing that you should get done, right? I'm going to shower first. I'm going to go brush my teeth. I'm going to finish the laundry. I'm going to go send an email first. I'm going to go call my mom for a minute, right? Just something that distracts you long enough, again, to bring those emotions down, calm your hormones, and then let logic set in. That one was a game changer for me as well because, again, it prolonged the craving cycle. Because all you want to do with your cravings is make them play out different, right? Because over the years, they play out all the same. Something triggers it, we react, we eat, right? Or we battle in our head, then we eat. Whatever it is. That's been the cycle. And it goes, and because that's been the repeated cycle for so long, we go through it so quickly, it's automatic, right? From getting the trigger to getting the craving to deciding to act on it, it's like split-second decisions. It's very, very quick. So if you can prolong that, you've now given yourself more control. You've proven to yourself that the whole cycle can play out different and look different, and you're going to give yourself more power over it, where it's just a thing to listen to and be involved in and be present through, not to avoid or give in. It's not black and white. It doesn't have to be a yes or a no. It's not that simple, right? If we could snap our fingers and just say no every time, we have a 6-pack already. But stop looking at it like that. It is not from this moment on, I say no to all my cravings. It's from this moment on, how can I ride through the wave of my cravings? How can I prolong the process? And how can I stop reacting so impulsively? Not necessarily change the outcome, but stop reacting so quickly and so impulsively. That is my challenge to you. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please comment down below, like and subscribe as well. And of course, turn on that bell notification so you never miss another video. And I will see you next time. Also, side note, if you do want to learn more about the Fit Queen way of weight loss, head over to fitqueen.com where I've got lots of free resources for you. And I'll see you in the next video.